Dear beautiful people, today I want to talk to you about shadow work and why it is important. Now, when the famous psychologist Carl Gustav Jung spoke about the shadow, what it actually is, the shadow consists of neglected parts of ourselves. Things that we don't want to know about us, energies, impulses, tendencies, potentially traumatic memories. Since when we go on the spiritual path, before we walk this consciously, many of us turn to mainstream religions. In these mainstream religions, there is an idea of the good, of the holy, of the complete, of the pure, of the spotless. This could not be further from truth. Any being that is on the path to awakening can only realize itself as complete when it finds the polarities within itself that it has been neglecting. Now, the term shadow, I use it based on Carl Gustav Jung's psychology. What he classifies as the shadow are these parts of us that are not conscious to the egoic mind. And there's a reason why they're not conscious to the egoic mind. Let's say I draw a circle, 360 degrees. Now, if the circle is you, it is the complete spectrum of who you are. It is every angle on you. If we stretch this out on a line, mind you, this is still the circle, but we stretch it out on a line. When you get raised as a kid in the tribal society that you're in, this society has a software, and this software approves or disapproves of parts of you. Let's say society approves of these parts, but says these parts we don't approve of. In fact, we punish you for expressing them. So as a child, you learn to push these parts into the unconscious, and every time they surface, to feel guilty about them. This is a mechanism put in place, a mechanism of control. That means we cannot realize ourselves as complete because only parts are conscious to what we call, towards the personality or identity. Now, in order to integrate these parts that we have pushed into the unconscious back into our awareness, we need to do a little bit of an archaeology of mind. Meditation is part of it, but what's even more important is to, let's say, when you get the basics of meditation down, when you're able to enter no mind states, you do body scan exercises. So for example, if you focus right now on your finger and you're not looking at your finger, you just focus on your finger, not looking, just feeling. When you shift your awareness there, you experience the finger. So the trick is you start in one extremity. It means you start in a toe or in a finger, and then you start moving that awareness through the body very, very slowly. And you start scanning the whole body for spots that feel uncomfortable. What you're actually doing is not only scanning the body, but you're scanning your energy field. In this energy field, there is memory, and it intersects with the body. That means sometimes this energy field will produce a symptom. It can produce nausea, headaches. There might be spots in the body where you feel a stabbing feeling. Now, our first biological instinct is to get as far away from the pain as possible. So there's a little bit of irony involved that only the ones who are willing to face the pain can go beyond it. So as such, when you scan your body very, very slowly, go through every part of it, and you find those spots that make you feel immediately repulsed. Initial reaction, I just want to run. So get out of here, distract myself. You do the opposite. You go as deep into that painful feeling as you can. You just watch it. No opinions about it. You keep breathing deeply. You relax your muscles. You don't build any form of resistance towards that feeling. And when you start doing this, the shadow will emerge. At first, you will transform those pains with your awareness. The energy that is originally stuck there, that has been pushed into the subconscious, will start flowing again. But on further practice, you will actually be able to recall imagery and emotions that are based on actual traumatic memory. If you practice this long enough, you will find early childhood memories and at a certain point, potentially even past life memories. In a sense, you're dealing consciously with karma. You're starting to dissolve karmic energies, and you're doing this by being actively, consciously processing those energies. Usually life needs to provide a catalyst to you. That means if there is a trauma within you that you do not want to acknowledge, energy resonates at a certain frequency and it will attract situations that will reproduce the experience. This will cause suffering. So the suffering can push you either into awareness, you start exploring, or you choose to suffer more. That means you're not ready to explore yet. If you're ready to explore, you make it a conscious effort to seek the pain out. Then you might find things, experiences that you feel from a subjective level that someone might have done to you, but you will also see things that from a subjective perspective you think you have done to others. So some people, when they start recalling those traumas, if you will, even past life traumas, they see sometimes scenes from war, abuses, violence, rape. Now, if you're not conscious enough yet, you will feel repulsed. If you're conscious, you will feel the desire to reintegrate those inner energies into you, because anything that is unconscious within you acts itself out without you knowing. It's kind of like you're driving a truck and there's a car sneaking up from behind in the blind spot. You don't see it, you hit the brakes and you have a crash. So if these original injuries are untreated, you will, in a sense, need to re-experience them. In order to not having to go through that, you can make an effort in finding those injuries and then making that memory conscious. And in that moment, you start integrating it back into your awareness. But the only way to truly integrate it back into your awareness is forgiveness. It is having a loving attitude towards what you have seen. So when you see violent scenes, for example, there's a reason those violent scenes occurred. Usually, people who exercise violence are themselves in tremendous pain. If you would be completely pain-free, why express aggression? Aggression, a lot of times, is a form of helplessness. Not admitted helplessness. That is then expressed with a form of fake dominance, which is violence. So when you start understanding by watching those traumatic imageries, like re-experiencing the emotions that are connected to those memories, if you can release it through forgiveness, those energies that have been in the unconscious mind before cease to influence your life. Peace, if you want to experience this, and awakening cannot occur with the denial of these happenings. Enlightenment cannot exist without ignorance. Many teachers tell you to go beyond the ego. But without the ego, there is no contrast to the birth of the experience of enlightenment. Once we understand that, then we understand that all experiences serve us, even the traumatic ones. If you learn then to forgive the beings involved in those memories, including yourself, then you're truly able to be inclusive, loving, compassionate, kind, empathic, even to those who create suffering. Bear in mind that they create suffering because they are under tremendous suffering themselves. If you want to awaken, shadow work is necessary. Contemplate about that. Be well.